Hi, I'm Luan Akin, the Garden Ambassador here at Tagawa Gardens in Centennial, Colorado. We are out in the summer heat, feels pretty good briefly, and we're here with Mike, who is a certified arborist and one of Tagawa's tree and shrub specialists. Today, we're talking about pruning some fruit. Colorado's great fruit growing country.
Absolutely.
What do people need to know and do to get their fruit? This is a grape,
right,
to be as healthy as possible.
Yeah, this is, we've purposely planted this grape next to the fence, kind of your typical residential fence, because the grape does need support, and we can show you how to do that. We're going to talk about some pruning and how to maximize the fruit.
Go for it.
Go. All right. So this, we just planted this. This is pretty typical of what you would buy in the nursery. In the orchard anyway, to maximize your fruit potential, I would probably remove several of these vines so that you just have one vine basically going up the fence here.
Your main leader.
The one main leader,
Okay.
yeah. So it may seem kind of drastic initially, but in the long run, that's what's going to be best. So that is that. And I want to go ahead, take that off.
So you're being a little brutal, but it's for the good of the
It's
future
for the
crop.
good, yeah. To get the best fruit, you basically want to control the vegetative growth. So you're going to minimize the vegetative growth so that all that energy can go into the grapes.
How are you going to support that?
Initially, you may have to use a product such as this. It's just kind of an elastic, a soft elastic, what would you call that, tape?
Yeah.
It's not adhesive, so it's not going to stick to the vine, but so yeah, just maybe like so. And you certainly don't have to tie it tight because the grape is going to want to climb. Okay, so just a real quick support there. Yeah, in the long run, and really in one growing season, because the grape's going to grow like crazy, you may want to, it can support itself on boards such as this, but it does help if you can maybe use nails to secure a wire horizontally, because the grapevine has what's called tendrils, these little curly things that will fasten itself to that wire, and it's just a really strong kind of permanent system to support the grape.
So we have a sense of what we're supposed to do as we start our grapevine, but Mike, what about a month from now, 6 weeks from now, when we actually have some grapes on the vine?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what the vine is going to look like late winter, early spring, and you can purchase your grapevines in early spring and plant them. You know, no leaves, but as things warm up, obviously it's going to leaf out. You still have your little tendrils here, just looking for something to grab onto. So we'll just put that in place.
Superimposing.
Yeah.
The one with
and
grapes, right?
Really, if you know, you could just physically wrap the vine around this horizontal board, or like I said, if you have that wire in place, it's really amazing. It's really maintenance free. The little tendrils will just wrap on as it grows, and it's a really secure system.
So once it's established, the grapes are showing up, water it, keep it well maintained. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, just wait for the harvest.
Yeah, exactly. When you purchase the grapevines in the nursery, they're already several years old, so you could get fruit, maybe not a lot of fruit, but you can get fruit the first year. As you can see, we've got some nice little bundles of grapes going here.
So we have the grapevine in the ground. It's now approaching late summer. We know what to do then. Mike, 2-3 years from now, what's the plan?
What will happen is you'll have what are called spurs that will grow, small branches, small vines basically, that will start to grow and hang down as grapes do. What you want to do is prune those back in February or March to leave 3, maybe 4 buds on that spur. And that's really the trick to maximizing your fruit potential.
So we figured out what to do with grapes and how to prune them, how to grow them. What about berries, Mike? We're going to focus on the raspberries, blackberries. Where do we start and when? Mm-hmm.
Depending on which variety of raspberry you have, that's going to determine when and how often you prune them back. There are summer-bearing raspberries, ever-bearing, such as the Heritage, which is popular, and then also the fall-bearing raspberries. So this is a summer-bearing raspberry here. Initially I would come in probably February or March and then just remove any of the weaker looking canes, canes that may be declining for whatever reason. They're not going to be of any use for us, so we'll just call these some bad canes here. And
So that's just
remove them.
maintenance pruning there,
Just
right?
simple maintenance, yeah, and it may even be taller like this. It might look weak for some reason, and you can just go ahead and just eliminate that one as well. And again, that's in February or March. After the summer bearing raspberry is done for the most part, what you want to do is come in and remove the actual canes, the living canes that produced fruit. Let's say this cane has already produced fruit this year. We're going to go ahead and remove that. And that leaves our younger canes that will produce next year for us.
Mike says if you have an ever-bearing raspberry bush, ones that produces a few fruits all season long, easy breezy, just mow them down in the spring and stand back and wait for the harvest. Blackberries, a little bit different?
Just a little bit. I would prune them the same way as, say, a summer-bearing raspberry, except that the blackberry is a little more of a vine and they do need support. So, a nice piece of lattice or any kind of arbor would be great. Yeah.
But well worth the effort. So if you have a hankering for fruit, raspberries, blackberries, or the grapes, come see Mike or any of our other nursery specialists here at Tagawa Gardens. We would be so happy to help you be green and grow.